So, a little bit of a quicker video here because, yeah, as I said yesterday, I am going on a trip on Sunday, so I have to pre-record some videos. This is being recorded on the night of Saturday, and it will be uploaded later tomorrow. So, we're going over some rumors that percolated over the past few days in regards to coaching in the NHL. And it's been a big secret. Oh yeah, I know, crazy, right? That the Toronto Maple Leafs have been a conversation. We made 2 videos about them already, but this is yet another one because not only does this video involve the Toronto Maple Leafs and people that are, at the time of recording this audio, on the team, but it also involves the Pittsburgh Penguins, and it also involves the New Jersey Devils. So, let's go out there and read this article from Bruce Garriock on May 1st. This, of course, because it's by Garriock, it's on the Ottawa Sun, and I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go ahead and read this article yourself. Garriock, the Ottawa Senators step up their coaching search, but they need to take action quickly. This article relates to the Ottawa Senators, but we're not using it for its Senators-based content, although we could go out there and talk about it, but honestly, I'm not really too interested in talking about Dean Evason potentially being an Ottawa Senators guy. Either way, let's go out there and scroll down into why exactly it is this is being talked about, why Garriock says the Sens need to rush with their coaching. League executives told Post Media on Wednesday they believe the Ottawa Senators have either interviewed, had talks with, or have interest in former Minnesota Wild coach Dean Evason, Craig Berube, Todd McClellan, and New Jersey Devils interim coach Travis Green. Now, each of these names are intriguing in their own right. Travis Green, of course, especially for me as a Vancouver Canucks fan. But if you scroll down into what the article writes about near the halfway mark of the article, take a look at what Garriock writes here. We'll find out on Thursday if the Toronto Maple Leafs will go the distance, and if it doesn't, then coach Sheldon Keefe will likely be fired. If that happens, the sense is that Craig Berube will be a top candidate for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that Pittsburgh GM Kyle Dubas may allow Sullivan to move to New Jersey, so Sheldon Keefe can be hired. Yeah. That's the report, folks, that Sheldon Keefe is going to be joining back up with his guys over in Pittsburgh. Kyle Dubas, Michael Bunting, all the old Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds heading over there, and then the Toronto Maple Leafs coach too. You know, I'm interested in seeing how this would go down. Obviously, it hasn't happened yet at the time of me recording this audio. Maybe Keefe's gotten fired by the time this video is public on YouTube, but the idea of Sheldon Keefe going from one franchise that has some top-tier, superstar-caliber names, Austin Matthews, John Tavares, Mitch Marner, William Nylander, going from a team like that to a team that also boasts some top-of-the-line names. I mean, say what you want about Evgeny Malkin and Chris Letang, but Sidney Crosby is still really good. Imagine Sheldon Keefe having 2 straight teams of opportunities to coach players that are near the top of the NHL in categories like these. If Keefe can take some of that experience and be like, hey, this is how a team with 4 superstars that pretty much have to carry the load can play, then maybe there could be something going on here. And of course, Michael Bunting being on Sheldon Keefe's team again, that'd be great because the guy played really well under Sheldon last time. He almost won the Calder over Moritz Seider. And then, of course, the connection with Kyle Dubas would be quite hilarious to see as well, you know? Like we say in the NHL that there are certain times where you can tell that a player or an executive or a team is really only going for one kind of person, and that person would happen to be, yeah, people we've worked with in the past, or people we're already familiar with. They're so comfortable with what it is that they have experience with that they're just going to default back to it right again. Sometimes it works. Like in Vancouver, we had been talking about this as a meme the past few years, that former Pittsburgh guys, Jim Rutherford and Patrick Allvin, went out there and just got a bunch of former Penguins. Casey DeSmith, Ian Cole, Teddy Bluger. They traded Tanner Pearson away, which I think was the second time that Pearson got traded by this management. Something crazy like that. And so we see this all the time in different NHL organizations, but for Kyle Dubas and the Toronto Maple Leafs crew, it's kind of funny because, like, oh yeah, Dubas was not able to build together a contender in Toronto. Sheldon Keefe was not able to coach this group of top-tier superstars to have success in Toronto. The players that are kind of too good to stick around, like Michael Bunting. They leave, and then they just go over to Pittsburgh. Like, he'll be acquired by Dubas. Dubas is going to hire Keefe, and then everybody's just going to change back. It's going to be the Pittsburgh Maple Leafs at this point. Maybe Marner gets traded to gosh darn Pittsburgh. Who really knows? Like, if Mitch Marner ends up finding himself on a Sheldon Keefe team again too, I don't know how that's going to happen if your $10.9 million AAV salary is going to find itself on the Pittsburgh Penguins. But hey, Kyle Dubas has made it work in the past. Who really knows? If that ends up happening, then I kind of have no clue as to how we're going to react to that. Like, super teams aside, you know, the identities of top-tier guys, Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Carlsson, Marner, who really knows? Like, that aside, it is just kind of funny how the biggest rumor that has popped up about Sheldon Keefe's future has been about Pittsburgh. And it's like an Ottawa beat reporter and Bruce Garriock going out there and talking about it. Like, not saying that Garriock has or doesn't have any sources, but he's like the main connected guy for Ottawa talk. So seeing him pretty much say that that's kind of the belief here. Oh, the belief. That's so funny. I didn't even mean to say that. Hearing that that's the belief and that this would only happen if the Toronto Maple Leafs do not find a way to beat the Bruins. Yeah, no, that makes sense to me, especially since it was talked about by Elliot Friedman as well, that if they're not able to get past this first round, if they're not able to exercise those demons, then something is going to happen here. Changes are going to happen, and at this point, I mean, everybody's talking about it. Marner? Yeah, everybody's talking about him getting traded. We made a video about that a few hours ago. Keefe? Everybody's saying that he's going to get fired. We're making this video now. And it's not even like a discussion of if, it's like, yeah, when. When is he getting fired? He could very well get fired by the time this video is public on YouTube. At that point, like, you know, we kind of have to make another one. But still, same sentiments apply here. Sheldon Keefe has had such a distinct level of failure with Toronto, not being able to get the best out of these top guys, and always getting outcoached. Every single playoff series except for Tampa last year. Even the games and the series where it's like, yeah, no, the Leafs kind of just lost. I said this in the post-game video yesterday when the Leafs lost to the Bruins in overtime, that it didn't feel like the Leafs choked per se, even though that's technically what happened, but it felt more so like they played a team in Boston, it was a really tight match, and Boston just won. I said the same thing about the Leafs in 2022 against Tampa. They played a good series, it was really close, and they lost. In 2021 against Montreal, they choked. 2020 against Columbus, they choked. In Boston the other year, they choked. Even this time around, they technically choked, but they just keep on getting out-coached, and it's Sheldon Keefe who is not able to adapt to that. So now, does he take his talents to Pittsburgh? Oh boy, that's going to be nice to see, eh? You know that Toronto Maple Leafs fans are going to have all the time in the world memeing the fact that Pittsburgh and Toronto have all these connections. Oh, it's Kasperi Kapanen, it's Phil Kessel, it's Keefe, it's Bunting, it's Kyle. Like, everybody's going to have their conversations about that, but let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you're a Pittsburgh Penguins fan, what are your opinions about the idea of hiring Keefe? Do you like that? Do you not? If you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, do you have any advice, any solace to give to the Pens fans that will inevitably come asking, hey, how does Sheldon Keefe manage his guys? What are his strengths? What are his weaknesses? I think we can all see his weaknesses in the playoffs whenever the Maple Leafs lose. But either way, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below about this entire video idea. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.